Hello, everyone. This is Biz Chicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today is Friday. I'm here with my partner, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups. We're the Biz Chicks, and we just want to say hello to everyone watching on the replay. We want to say hi to those of you listening over in the clubhouse. And we're going to get this party started because you know it's Friday and that's when we talk tech in English. Hey, Miss Fran, what's happening?
Good morning, everybody. And afternoon or wherever you are in the world.
Wherever you are.
Yes, so I'm going to get started with this day in tech history. I like history. On all things history, but especially tech history. So April 27th, 1981, Xerox introduces the Xerox 8010 Star Information System, the first commercial system utilizing a computer mouse, among other now commonplace technologies. The 8010 was geared toward business and was not a commercial success. Therefore, the mouse remained in relative obscurity until the Apple Lisa, but more prominently the Apple Macintosh, brought the mouse into the mainstream. Do you all still use a mouse, or most of us use a touchpad?
Mouse, what's that?
You know something? A lot of our customers come in using mouses. And they're like, I need a mouse. And we're like, no, you don't.
So question, because we always only refer to that type of mouse in the singular, what is the plural? Is it mice or is it mouses?
It's Mises.
Mises. I thought Mises too, but okay. Hey, Alexa and Dr. Tam. Welcome to Tech Life Weekly. Yeah, so do you all still use a mouse? Dr. Tati apparently does not. Or do you use your touchpad? You know, you can have a touchpad or you can have a mouse. I use both, but
do you have a laptop or a desktop?
I have a desktop, laptop, and
other portable devices.
All my portable stuff I use the touchpad for.
The touchpad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have an iMac, but it's an old iMac, so I don't really use it anymore. So because I was always traveling, I always used my laptop. Therefore, I just got the habit of using the touchpad, and that's what I'm used to now.
Right.
And shortcut keys, obviously.
Right. And a lot of people are still attached to the mouse. Like Terry said, when we were working with clients and they would bring their gear in, they would bring the mouse out of a pouch with the little cable and everything. And I was like, the touchpad is right there, but I don't know how to use that. Okay, that is why we strongly suggest on all your technology, take a day and play with it. Break out how do I do this? You should know how to use the tech that you paid so dearly for.
Oh, dear. They don't know, but let's be clear. There are a lot of people that are not techies like we are, that don't want to sit there and break it out and play. And I remember when I was an undergrad, they were all going to 4th of July stuff, and we had gotten a new computer. I'm like, well, I don't need to go. I can sit here and play with this. I ended up going anyway, but that just shows you how much I like to play with computers and new technology. But everyone is not like that. People want to press on and want it to work.
Right, exactly.
Especially if they're the type of person that does not like to read directions or follow directions, they're not going to do it.
Right. And if that is your forte, if you got a phone, learn how to use the basics of the phone. You can go to YouTube and how do I do this? Just so you know how to use some basics of the phone. And the phones are making it easier for you to maneuver around there. It should be really, what is it, intuitive? Whatever tech you get should be intuitive for you to work it. You know what I mean? Not everybody, it shouldn't be difficult. My mom, she was thinking about getting a tablet.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm an Apple person, but I wanted her to get something that was going to work for her. So I told her to go to Best Buy, Apple, or Best Buy and play with each of the tablets. Which one is more functional for the things you need? Email, looking at pictures, going online or something. And find out what's easier for you when you're in there using the tablet. It needs to work for you.
That's take a test drive.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it just needs to work for you. Okay.
Right, because I think the thing is everybody talks about what's better. Oh, okay, let's talk about phones. Oh, the iPhone is so much better. Oh no, Android is better. Well, damn it, what works for you? If you don't, I'm the type let me take me for example. I'm Apple everything because I'm a production person, except for my phone. I'm diehard Android when it comes to my phone. And I think that's just because I don't want Apple owning me across the board. So something has to be different. So, but that's me. That's what works for me. But it's good to be conversant in both types of systems, if possible, so that you can go either way. But if that's not possible, then like you said, play around and find out what works for you. You can make recommendations are based off of personal preferences. Let's be clear when it comes to that.
Right.
Some people prefer one, some people prefer another. You, at the close of business, need to make the decision for what is going to work for your needs.
Right. Okay. Yeah, you really do, because like in the real estate industry, I need something that's going to work quick in the field. I don't need it to be clunky, cumbersome, and then it's spinning, trying to get me where I need to go. I need details fast. And so I had to pick a system that's going to do that for me. Now, the setting up of your systems and stuff, it might take you a minute to get it all set up and dialed in. But that's like anything that you do. You got to get all of the ingredients together, put them together, and figure out what's going to work for you. And once you get your system together, then you can work your system, because now you have a process in place that you can continue doing what you need to do. Right. Anyway. So next, April 28th, 2003, Apple Computer launches the sells music for 99 cents a song for use with the Apple iPod and iTunes software. It is not the first service to sell digital music, but it will become the first to gain widespread popularity. The service will be an instant success, selling over 1 million songs in its first week and going on to change the music industry forever. The iTunes Music Store is now the #1 music retailer in the United States, surpassing Walmart in 2008. Now I got a question for all of you listening and watching live. How are you getting your music? What do you use? Is it Spotify, Pandora, SoundCloud? How are you getting music if you listen to music? Because, or do you pay the 99 cents per song? Or
wait a minute, did you say pay the 99 cents and I'm up here? So my answer is not
Shay? Go ahead, Shay.
Okay, look, can I be, is this a safe space?
Yes, this is a safe space.
Okay, so I'm not paying for music, right? So I'm going to download the apps that allow me to pick the songs that I want to put on my phone to listen to. I'm going to listen to my playlist that I've made on YouTube. So if I want to see the video, I can see the video and play the music. But there's a disadvantage to that for most people, and that is because I am going after the music that I know, I'm not introduced to new music. necessarily, right?
Right.
I'm that person that's still playing old Jay-Z and still playing Whitney Houston. So I'm not the target audience for new music either.
Okay, see, now there's something to be said because again, it's like, well, what do you want to hear? It's going back to personal preference, just like the tech, your song selections, your song platforms are now your choice too.
Yes.
I have, because I have the Apple subscription that comes with music and all of that, I can go in and find some songs and stuff. But I'm like you, Shay. I'm not looking for new music pretty much. I kind of know what I want. I heard something the other day and I'm like, oh, I like that. I hit the little Shazam thing to find out who played it. And I'm like, okay, I can add that now to a playlist.
Okay, so you my people, because that's what I do. I happen upon new music. I don't go out looking for it. So you're like me, and I do have Shazam because, you know, you can't describe it. I'm hardly ever around somebody when I hear it. So Shazam is my jam.
Right. I like Shazam. Anybody else want to weigh in? Who's your preferred music, Dr. Tachi?
I'll say something. Wanted to weigh in since she's up here and guest. Go ahead.
Well, I'm confused. I'm that person. I have been confused ever since I could no longer buy a CD. Right? Put out an album, and I thought I bought it. I don't know what relationship I established with this content because I thought I bought it, and it sent me to Spotify. And while I thought, and I said, okay, well, let's play this. And I'm thinking, I'm going to hear the songs on the album, meaning that's all I want to hear. And I press play, and I'm hearing all of this stuff. And I'm like, hold on, because that's not what I was. It was playing Christmas music. It was playing songs from Hamilton, and every now and then I would get a cut that was supposedly been on this new album. So I don't understand how to listen to music at all.
So it sent you to Spotify. I'm wondering
there were promotion. Okay, I'm following him on social media, whatever. He's like, hey, a new album's coming out, right? And I followed the link, and and I could have sworn I gave money. I don't know if it meant I don't know. I know I had to click something that said a couple of dollars, right? And I ended up on Spotify, and the album cover was there, and I got one or two songs. I'm like, oh, I've not heard these before. But then I started getting Hamilton songs, and then it was an artist that wasn't even Leslie, and it's literally like everything. That's a good playlist, but I'm like, well, what did I buy?
Okay,
no idea.
Dr. Tachi.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a good question. Did it give you a choice of where to go when you click? Did it give you a choice of how to listen to the music? Because sometimes when you buy, it will give you choices of Apple Music, it will give you those choices.
Right. I think there was a choice of either Apple, whatever the other choice was something I didn't have. Okay. And I had Spotify.
Okay. So with Apple Music, you would have gotten if you paid for the album, you would have gotten that album and it would have been saved in your playlist or whatever. You would have had the album there, so that on any device you use as an Apple device and you go to open Apple Music, the album is there. So since you opened it with Spotify now, I'm not 100% sure how that works when you pay for it there. But what I do know is that Spotify likes to drive you towards other things as well. So in addition to that, you're going to get other things that he's been on, other things that he's been in addition to. So again, I'm not 100% sure how Spotify does it. Maybe somebody is more familiar when you buy an album, but I do know that when you buy an album, you get a choice of how to open it. And with Apple Music, I know you get it right as it is. I'm not sure with Spotify, but it does give you a bunch of other stuff. When you say
so you're saying if I was charged, I know I was charged something, I should go and see if the entire album is on Apple Music.
Yes. So go to.
And when you say Apple Music, because this is the part that, and I'm iPhone everything, right? Apple everything. When you say Apple Music, and I don't want to, please don't discount any of my other stuff, but like, okay, because the one I like to figure out iTunes. I know iTunes is not a thing anymore. It's all Apple Music now, right?
Correct.
Okay, so what am I? If I'm gonna have to ask Siri to open it for me wherever it is. So I'm gonna tell Siri to open Apple Music.
Correct.
Yes, and then you can look under your albums, and that album.
So I've got album. It should be there because there only a couple of things. I got a Nas over there. I only got two albums. I got a Nas, and I got the soundtrack to Birth. Again, don't judge me. I got Nas. I got Birth of a Nation and a couple of songs. Michelle Giancello, I got her, but that's it. So and then if I bought this, it's over there for those.
Yeah, it's over there under the albums, but it will also you can also look on your. I think it's downloads is the actual thing, and that purchases. If you look under purchases, it will show you what you purchased as well.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna go try to find it because I know I bought it. I know I spent money on it, but when it asked me, again, like you said, where do I want to listen? Because I know I have Spotify podcasts I listen to, and I'm sitting and I know I only heard 2 songs off of it. Next thing you know, I'm listening, and that's about Hamilton, and I'm like, okay, I wasn't mad at that because John has been good stuff, but I'm like, well, where's the album? How many songs were on the album? Why am I not hearing all new music? But that again, user error. So I'm gonna go find my album.
And
they're also trying to. Sorry, go ahead.
No. Go ahead, Dr. Tachi.
Well, I was going to say that they also are pushing you to try and buy that Hamilton soundtrack. So if you like that, you'll also like that. So that's what all that is, sales.
But why would I buy it? I'm like everybody else. Why would I buy it when it's in constant repeat on this Spotify thing?
Because
if I give it
to you, because maybe if I give you some tastes of it and you really like it, you'll want the entire album for yourself for 4 easy payments of $19.99.
I'm like you. I'll wait these other 6 songs to come back around.
And see, that's what I didn't like about Pandora, Spotify, or something when it first came out. When I asked, I'm looking for a particular artist. And then they give me everybody plus they give me the artist, but then I got a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm like, I didn't ask for all them. I want this particular artist, and that's it. When they create a playlist or a radio station for you, I don't want all that other stuff. I want this particular artist. If I say Michael Jackson, I want Michael Jackson. I don't want everybody else that kind of in that genre. And that's why I'm like, okay, I'll just go back to Apple Music and buy, or get the ones that I actually want. And I still have to. Go ahead.
You can purchase on Spotify and Pandora as well.
Right.
If you have the plan. So if you're doing it for free, you're stuck with what their recommendations are.
Right.
If you actually pay monthly, you have a little more leeway of what songs you get to hear. And then even with Spotify, you can actually with the songs that you want to hear, providing they're available.
Right. And that was the other thing. Some of the music that I wanted was not on Spotify or Amazon Music or what have you. So I was like, oh, okay, no problem. Okay, so let me finish up I think I'm finished with tech history. My God, one last story. April 30th, 1993, at the urging of Tim Berners-Lee, the creator of the World Wide Web Protocol, the directors of CERN released the source code of World Wide Web into the public domain, making it freely available to anyone without licensing fees. The decision to make the World Wide Web software and protocols freely available is considered by some as possibly the single most important moment in history of the internet. In fact, some historians mark this as the birth of the web. And that is your week in tech history. Terralina.
Okay. How you doing this morning? I was watching TV yesterday and they talked about this, and I'm going to need TJ's expertise for this. There is a site called Have I Been Pwned? Are you familiar with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pwned.
Pwned. Yes. Yeah. And I want to know more about that. You're supposed to be able to put in your email and find out if you've been hacked on different
apps. To see if your email address was you know how all of these sites, they said, oh, they've been hacked and people have the email address. So when you put your email address, it'll tell you like on your account on this site is compromised, and so it lists that. So you go and Firefox will do this for you, because when I use Firefox and I log in, it gives me a list of like where I might need to change. It's really for you to
change your password. Yes.
Okay, so if you find out that you're on one of those sites or maybe possibly compromises, to tell you what to do to fix it.
Yeah, it tells you to go in and change your password.
Okay, that's nice. But how does it?
Or you can close your account.
Yeah, but however, like with with the account that I'm thinking about in question, I get an email. It says it's coming from me, but it's not me. Contacted my not my internet service provider, my domain provider and the email provider, and they said there is just people who sit around all day who decide they want to try and do that, but it's not me sending the email. Now, it hasn't been sent to any of my clients or any place. It's just been sent to me, and I'm like, how are you on my domain using my email, TJ?
That's a strange one. If it's your web hosting, the domain you pay for, they shouldn't be able to get to that.
Well, and they said that it's not, they just spoofed it or something, but I'm like, how can they use such and such at abc.com when I own abc.com? How are they doing? I asked them about that.
How are they taking it over? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It was really.
Question. If you hover over it, does it still say abc.com? Because often they spoof and they just have the name, but it actually is directed to another web address.
Correct.
Right.
Yes, and that's what's happening.
So it's really not, and Terry can correct me if I'm wrong, because she knows more about this. So it's really not on your server. They're just spoofing using the name, but it's directed towards something else.
Correct.
And if someone's not paying attention, then they'll think it's from you. But this is why, in trainings, they always tell you, hover over the address, and that will tell you the actual address it's coming from.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right. She's right.
Okay, so I was just wondering, I wanted to ask that question because I pulled it up. Let's see here a second. I think I can share this. Hold on. The site.
Got a hand raised over here. Hold on a minute. Let me get you up here. And
this is all I have. Can you guys see this?
Okay, Terica, hang on a minute. Let me get you up here.
Have I been pwned? Pwned? How do they pronounce that? Pwned?
Pwned.
Pwned, like owned with a P.
Pwned. Yeah, it's like pwned.
And then you're supposed to be able to put your web address in there and or your phone number and see where your stuff has been compromised.
Right.
So I just want to know, was that a valid place to go, Terry?
Yeah, you can use this.
It's just
all
okay.
they're doing is connecting and doing like a search to see if your email is a part or your phone number is a part of these data breaches. That's what this is.
Exactly, like Equifax and different things. Yeah. Okay.
So I have. Go ahead, Terry, because
so that's what I have. I just was curious about it, and I know TJ knows about this stuff. So So I wanted to ask about it because I saw it on the news last night, and I was like,
Well, if you saw it on the news, then it's okay.
I figured they had, verified it, but
Yeah,
everything.
check in, people. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing.
Thank you for allowing me to speak. And I'm agreeing with Dr. Tashi. A lot of that is just fishing to get you to click on the link. I would immediately send those to, I would flag those as junk. I wouldn't open them if you can help it, but if you need to open it to hover over to see, but definitely block them. They're not actually using your account. They're trying to click on something to basically hack into your system.
Right. So they're not using your account. They're just trying to get you to do some stuff. Now, open
the door.
Yeah. So one of the other things that I noticed, I get an email from somebody saying, hey, it's time for you to update your what is it that I don't even use,
virus protection,
virus software, or we charged your account $200 or $300, and if you need a refund, you need to contact us or whatever. I'm like, okay, I don't even have a virus account. I didn't sign up for anything with you, and so you need to be on the lookout because it sounds very legit, like they charged your card.
Important that you go to your original provider. So if it's your bank, go directly to their website. Don't click on that email.
Correct.
Yeah, go to the actual source.
Right. And then, like Dr. Tachi said earlier, you hover over to find out where that email came from. Because I'm like, okay. And then you just have to trash them. This is a new bother. It's a new annoyance.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
If it has a phone number, just Google the phone number. It'll tell you if it's a weird person or not. Just by Googling the phone number, that it's not from a real company.
Right.
Okay.
See, this is why there's world hunger. Because the people who know how to do these things spend their energy in the wrong place. That just annoys me.
Right. It is very annoying.
We want people to use their powers for good. Please use your powers for good, people.
Yeah, they don't. They don't. Okay, TJ, what you got in social media for us today?
She's been so patient with us this morning. Thank you.
All right. So this week on social media news, let's start with YouTube. YouTube is testing a SoundCloud-like timestamp comments. Now let's break this down and explain it.
Thank you.
Okay, so in when you watch a YouTube video, they now have something called chapters where the person that uploads the video can put a timestamp and you can jump around the video instead of playing from the beginning and scrubbing the line to go where you want. So now they're doing that with comments linked to a specific time in the video. This is in testing. This is a test mode feature. A few people have it, not a lot. But when you go to comments, there's a sort button and you click on the sort button and then it says time beta. So here's the quote from Google. They say, this is what they're saying. They say, we're currently testing a new feature that allows you to view comments timed to the exact moment you're watching in a video. This experiment is available on some videos to a small group of people, and we'll consider rolling this out more broadly based on feedback. To see if you're a part of the experiment, go to the comment section on any video on iOS or Android and tap the sort button to see timed beta. Now, I tested this on my phone. I didn't have it. So, what it is that if someone comments, it's linked. The comments below will link to a section in the video, and then you can click on it and go to that section in the video.
Okay.
And SoundCloud does this. If you use SoundCloud, they have comments in the on the little bar, and you can click on the comments and it jumps to that section.
Okay.
Oh, that's
So that
interesting.
I like the fact that
So
you
it's
can
like a
jump
little,
around.
shortcut bookmark. If you see a comment, click. And I see why they're doing this, because I noticed that if you rewatch a video, especially on Facebook, and Facebook needs this, that the person that's talking, when someone makes a comment like, yeah, that's true, and then
Yes,
if I go and look, I don't know what they're talking about, because I've talked about several different
exactly.
things. So now I can click on that comment, yes, that's true, and see what they're commenting on. See how
Yeah,
that
that's
works. So Facebook
Where
needs
you,
this.
yeah, where you were in the commentary.
Right.
Mhm.
This happens a lot, because people in the comments will be, yeah, agree, yes, that's true, yes, whatever. But you've talked about several things, so you're like, well, what are they talking? What are they agreeing
And we
to?
see this on the program a lot, because we
Mhm.
have moved on. By the time we get to the comments, it's like, well, which part were they talking about?
Right.
Mhm.
So they're testing it. We'll see. If you have it, you just click the sort button and you'll see timed beta. If you don't see that, then you don't have it. So this is
Okay.
something that YouTube is testing always. All right. So moving on to Twitter. Twitter is working on a tipping feature for creators. So remember,
Oh.
Twitter is putting all these tools in. They're also putting in something called Super Follow, where you can sign up, and it's like a membership thing, and you get special events or special tweets or special information like Patreon. So that's the
Mhm.
Super Follow. So they're doing a tipping feature. So let's take a look. I got a screen share. Let's bring that up.
Okay.
So you can see, and this is also in testing, because one of the the researchers that they look at everything, they discovered it. So let's see. I think that's the wrong one. Let me see.
While she's looking for that, if you PTR, you can see a screenshot of the YouTube she was just referring to.
Okay. Say that one more time, Terica.
The forward to a certain part of the YouTube video, I put in an example of it in my profile picture.
Okay.
So if you PTR, you can see it.
All right. Thank you.
Terica, you now have to come every week so that you can be our picture person. Thank you.
So here we have a tweet from Jane Man Chung Wong. She's a reverse engineer, and she looks at all the coding for the apps. So she put up an example, because she's looking at it, so she sees it on her phone. She takes a screenshot. So you can see here it says the options are send to Bandcamp, send via Bandcamp, send Cash App, Patreon, PayPal, and Venmo. So see how those are options. So this is their tip jar, and it's probably going to be a part of Twitter Spaces, because this is a test.
Okay.
It's a testing feature, so we'll see.
All right, I got a question. How many people been using Twitter Spaces?
I haven't heard a lot of positive things about it. People said they didn't have any traction or whatever. I don't know.
Some people on my timeline use it, because you get to see the purple circles in the fleet section whenever they're doing it. But it's not rolled out to everybody yet. Twitter Spaces is not available everywhere. So they just gradually increase the beta group that they're using. Okay. So this is the options. You send money to using Bandcamp, Cash App, Patreon, PayPal, and Venmo. So
they give you a lot of options. That's nice.
Yeah. So what do you think of that?
I like the fact that they have multiple ways.
Okay.
I agree. Multiple ways.
All right. So, and then also I don't have a screenshot of this. I mean, it's available, but I didn't queue it up. But they have the Super Follow, like I mentioned before, the feature that lets you charge followers to access extra inclusive content, like having your Patreon on your Twitter account. And Twitter had their quarterly earnings report the other day. I didn't pay attention. I don't know how well they're doing post who administration, which I don't like to bring up his name, but they there was talk about how good they're going to do after hit, he's not there anymore. So that was like his thing to use. So we're still keeping an eye on it for Twitter. All right. So let's go to one we really don't talk about during social media is Apple.
Okay.
But we talked about this on Tuesday a little bit. Remember, Carolina? We talked about their tracking.
Yes.
New tracking. Okay. So I want to bring a screenshot of that up also. And just a second. Gotta make sure it's the right. There we go. Make sure it's the right one. Okay, so we have this. Can everybody see that? Well, I know Clubhouse can't see it, but I'm going to read it.
Okay, she's going to describe what's happening. There's a
right
phone on the screen. Go ahead, TJ.
Right, it's a mock-up of a phone. And this is what you will see with this new app tracking permissions. It's a part of the new iOS 14.5 update. So what you will see now is allow app, and it'll be the name of the app, whatever the name of the app is, to track your activity across other companies' apps and websites. Your data will be used to measure advertising efficiency. The two options to choose are ask app not to track or allow. So you see what's the first button that's there? Ask app not to track, right?
Right.
So this allows Apple users that have mobile devices that they won't let the app track them. That means you won't have any ads pop up. They won't be able to track you. They won't be able to get any data to use for advertising. Now, this is a big deal for Facebook. So there was a big, thing about, Facebook is upset because this is going to completely wreck their advertising model. Because Facebook, needs to track with the Pixel and the app, and there's all kind of codes and everything to track because they need to see people's behavior. But Apple device owners, iPhones, iPads, all that, you're going to be able to opt out of all of that. So
are they look, I'm like a kid. Are they going to punish us if we...
What do you mean?
Over on Facebook, are they going to put us out the house, or you know what I mean? Because Facebook can be pretty. I'm going to use this word, responsive, as opposed to vindictive. But okay.
So let's talk a little bit about Apple says, this is their quote, and it's called app tracking transparency, this feature. So app tracking transparency requires apps to get the user's permission before tracking their data across apps or websites owned by other companies for advertising or sharing their data with data brokers. Apps can prompt users for permission. And in settings, users will be able to see which apps have requested permission to track so they can make changes to their choice at any time.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
We talked about this on Tuesday. Remember, it was like trying to get a handle on what it was because the update came out on Monday.
Yes.
So there's been a lot of, what's going to happen with Facebook ads? Because that's one of the apps that wants to track you for ads.
Yes, and that is their bread and butter. I just I don't know. They tend to, like I said,
and this is Apple device only, not Android. Android's fine for now.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask, because Dr. Tachi is in, dabbles in the realm of the ads and that type of thing. How were people getting ads before Facebook? They would do the ratings type thing. Is that correct, Dr. Tachi? Where it seems now Facebook is going to have to do something differently to get the data they're looking for.
Right.
So I'm sorry. Say this again. You were asking
how. What does this mean as far as advertising for a lot of advertisers, not just Facebook, because they're not going to be able to get the data they used to the way they used to.
Yeah, to quote numbers to get people to advertise?
Yeah, eh, that's really a good question. What this is going to mean, and like anybody on the stage, especially Tyre, I know that she could chime in with this as well. This is a thing. But this is not the first time there have been changes or adjustments to any of this. And publishers, as they're called, are traditionally not happy whenever there are these types of changes made. So it is going to mean something, but you know what happens? Everybody gets upset at first, or everybody says something at first, and then there's a quieting, as my mother used to say, quieting down, things quieten down. And business happens as usual. Because really, let's be clear. If there's an issue with the way a particular platform does things, and it's that much of an issue for you, you will not use it, right?
Right.
So apparently, it's not. What usually happens is the bark is worse than the bite, and people threaten all types of things, but nobody ever really leaves. So if the practices and methods, and I'm not saying they're right, not at all, but if the practices and methods are not aligning with the way you want to do things, then you are free to leave. That doesn't mean that they're doing things right, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't try to change things within the ecosystem. But that ecosystem is a master of none ecosystem. So I don't know how much change as an individual you can make. It would have to take a mass of businesses to really say, you know what? Yeah, no, before they actually do something.
Well, let me say this. As far as the end user, how many times have we just allowed things like we trust because we want to use something, we just check the I agree. You know what I mean, to terms and conditions. If we want to use it, we're going to check, track me. Okay, so what if I'm using, an app to buy shoes or whatever? I want to know what shoes they got. So yeah, you see what I mean? So like Dr. Tachi's saying, if you want it bad enough, you're just going to go with whatever they ask.
Right. So there's been a lot of discussion about it because if Apple device users, iOS 14.5 users decide to opt out of tracking, then there's no way for a person or a business or whoever's running Facebook ads to get any kind of data to know if their Facebook ad is working. That's the big issue. Right. Because you can't track them. So that's the dilemma. So we're getting ready to see what Facebook is going to do about it. And it's, like I said, it just came out Monday. So it's going to be hard to say, what's going to happen. But this is the road it's on. So Apple did their thing because they want their users to have transparency with the device. I spent a lot of money on this thing, so I don't want it to track me. Apple says, here's a button to opt out of all advertising tracking on your phone. And people are like, hey, I'm down with it. 90% is going to be like, don't track me. Yeah. That's one of the issues they complain about.
Right. Because when you're on the phone, it comes in with the location turned on, and you can see everywhere you've been. It could provide you with an alibi if you ever needed one, but you can see wherever you've been on the phone. I was like, dang, on the map, it'll show you exactly wherever you've been.
Wow.
Right. So this is the issue.
Which is why that you have the option to turn off location tracking if that's not something that you want. Yeah, it makes it easier when you're trying to get an exact location for something and you're trying to get recommendations for a restaurant near you. But if you are really concerned about a device tracking where you are, then turn it off. I mean, really the answers are simple, but they're not simple when it comes to the way we use it. Right. You want it off, but then you want to find something really easily. It's a catch-22. Oh, I'm sorry. And I think Dryer Buzz came off her mic.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is I'm watching this fight, and I appreciate Apple for all they're doing and going after Facebook. We appreciate that. But are we in this fight? Like I'm like telling Lynn, it's like, you offer me some % off or a deal. It's like, hey, take all, track me, do whatever you need to do. as long as I get what I want. And that came out in a report in 2015. It's like, okay, people are no longer really truly concerned about their privacy, and privacy is just really not a thing. And they've proven to us, and even with this pandemic, they usually come out with something. They make us afraid of something. We say, oh, we got to have this on, we got to have that. I'm still trying to figure out why people have cameras in their own homes, right? You got to know that none of this stuff is for our own benefit. None of it. Like zero, right? So I still don't understand the selling point of it, but I do understand the fear of it. But I think that we've gotten away from it. So I don't even want to have to say, look, take all my privacy, just long as continue to give me what I want. I want to use these apps. I'm going to let you track me, follow me, watch me. I ain't covered my camera yet, and even though I'm not using it. So I don't know what is it all for? What's the end game? Because the ads on Facebook, they don't work for all of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Apple is trying to get, Apple ain't went cheap on these phones yet. So I don't know what that fight is about either. So neither one is giving what it's supposed to get. So where do we go from here?
Right.
I will say that TJ has told us this many times, we gave away our privacy back in when the Diners Club card came out, when they started saying, hey, you can get this free card if you fill out this information and you have a chance to win this car at the mall. People started giving away their privacy then. It has been gone for a long time.
And see, the difference between then and now is that we have technology, we have devices where data and information can be compiled instantly. So back then, when you filled out a card at the mall to win the car, it was, on a piece of paper filed in a Rolodex or a box and put in the back room. Now, when you do it, it's instantly attainable, and data is being sold and swapped and everything and it's a big business. Right. Where it wasn't before, but it's the same kind of collection where they're getting your information. In the old days, it was just on a piece of paper. Now it's in a database somewhere where it can be hacked. Somebody can access it. They can sell access to it. They can say, hey, we got this many millions of users in our database that have the name and the this and the demo and all that. So it's like a market. It's a marketplace.
And I've been taking a class here lately. One of the ways that they collect data is doing surveys.
And they've always done that. They used the phone. Remember, they would call you on the phone. It was dinner time. They would call you on the phone and can I ask you a question? Yeah. And
now, like I bought some cologne, and now I bought the cologne, and then now they're asking me questions. So, do you think you're going to recommend this to such and such and da 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 da? Well, I might want them to do that rather than and instead of allowing them to track me, maybe they send me a survey. And if I feel like it, I'll fill out the survey instead of having them track me.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. So we're in a new world with this. Apple has laid down their gauntlet, and Facebook is upset, and they're gonna do whatever they have to do to keep their people happy, because that's how Facebook gets their money, is by when we buy ads, when we spend money on ads. So this is going to affect Facebook's bottom line as far as that, and they're not happy. So we'll see what happens, but this is what's going on.
We're going to move you over here, and Mark has a comment. Mark has a comment. We're going to let you. He says, I like to bore them to death to make them sorry that they invaded my privacy. Death by apathy. He's not responding.
That is Mark Ward.
Yes. Thank you, Mark. All right, so we're gonna move on to Facebook. Facebook is giving you, if you like listening to Spotify inside of the Facebook app, well, this will make you happy. Facebook is creating a Spotify mini player. A Spotify mini player that lets you listen to full-length songs and podcasts within the app. Now, remember last week we said Facebook was going to let you do your own podcast, create your own podcast inside of Facebook. But now they're like, okay, well, we're putting Spotify inside of the Facebook app, and you can listen to podcasts from Spotify, but in Facebook. See how they want to keep you in Facebook
In the
world.
California hotel.
They want to keep you in Facebook world.
It's like a big box store. Oh,
Right.
y'all wanted that? Let me put that on aisle 6.
So they're saying that you don't. So they're saying that it's going to be available in iOS and Android, and the track that you're listening to continues playing even when you close Facebook. That's what this article is saying. Also, the feature is meant to improve discovery, user experience, and engagement, and keep people on Facebook. Duh.
Okay, stop. You mean this thing? I'm gonna leave Facebook, and I still can't figure out how to turn the song off. Because you know they never tell you where the controls are. You gotta figure that out.
Okay, I keep making reference to the California Hotel. Some people don't know that song by the Eagles, but in there, one of the things it says you can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. That is what Facebook is doing.
Yeah, because if you leave Facebook and it's still playing, you're right. It's like being haunted by Facebook.
So here's my thing with that. If you really are a quality platform and you provide enough for people to want to stay around, you do not have to play these reindeer games to get people to stay around. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to do that type of thing when you're actually doing what you're supposed to do. Maybe, dear Facebook, stop trying to have your grubby paws in every single venture because you don't have to do there. Master what the hell you know well, which is what we don't know because you do so many things and you don't do any of them particularly well, which is why I call you Master of God. So if you focus on a few things and you master them, then maybe move on to something else. But that's what you refuse to do. You don't stick with anything long enough to master it. So there's no need for you to play games unless you. Okay, let me ask: is there an option to turn this off?
Where is the button gonna be?
TJ, is there an option to turn it off?
I don't think so. Let me see. I have the directions on how it works. So how it launches is that you tap the play button on the song you, your friend, family member, or favorite creator share from Spotify to their Facebook feed. It says the first time you're using the mini player, you'll see a consent dialog open. Click on connect to continue. If you're logged into Spotify, the apps will automatically switch and playback will start from within the Spotify app. If you're not logged into Spotify, it will ask you to log into Spotify. Spotify keeps playing even if you keep scrolling down your news feed, but you'll have control over playback options so you can pause or dismiss the mini player. Now, there was a screenshot, and I did see an X because it's like a little button it'll be a little square at the bottom of your news feed in Facebook. So that means you can continue to do what you need to do in Facebook, and the little Spotify player will be at the bottom. And I did see the X there. So I guess if you wanted to turn it off,
you can close
hit the X. I'm assuming.
I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't Spotify play outside their own app? So if you're listening to Spotify and you're on your phone, no matter where you go, you can still hear Spotify?
Yes.
Right.
So do we even need a Spotify inside Facebook? Because
right, this will be inside.
There are creators on Facebook that we want to hear outside of Facebook. Like, say, for instance, Biz Chicks wouldn't need to be on Clubhouse if the video didn't stop playing when we came outside the app. So why not work on that so that we can keep the video playing while I go over here and check my bank account, or I have to do this?
Yes.
You shut everything down when we leave the app. So why? I don't understand why they're even wasting this energy. It's like Tati said, make what you have great. Stop trying to shut down everything that we enjoy on the app and only do what benefits. I can't even imagine the Spotify people when somebody brought this up. But their app plays, Spotify plays no matter what you're doing.
Right.
It's the Facebook stuff that doesn't play.
Right.
See,
Facebook.
This is another thing where Facebook wants you to be in Facebook and not leave and go to Spotify. They said, don't go to Spotify. We can let you listen to Spotify while you're in Facebook. That's what this is about.
But we only go to Spotify because you won't let us listen to the people on Facebook. You still posting, you still sharing all the content on Facebook on mute. By the time I find the button to turn the volume up, the reel is stopped playing, the video is halfway over, right? Because everything is still muted. So, but now you want us to listen to Spotify on a platform where you mute everything.
And we can't mute Spotify.
But you can leave it. There's an X button. It's like a little square at the bottom of the screen, and it says Spotify and whatever's playing. And if you can, it's like having the radio on while you're cleaning the house or something. That's what they're thinking of. Like, you're doing other things at Facebook, but let's listen to Spotify in there from, and especially if someone that you follow shares a podcast or a music from Spotify, and you tap on it in Facebook, it's going to have the little separate player that keeps going, like the video. Like now with the videos on Facebook, you can scroll and the video will keep playing on the bottom right, or just keep playing like that
little square. Okay.
That little square, right?
Picture.
Okay, so Spotify will have a little square down there, which will keep going. I get it.
Right, and then there's an X. There's an X on the right of the little window where you can say, "I'm tired of this." Tap.
Oh, okay. As long as
you have to tap the X.
Stop it. You know what I mean?
You have to tap the X. If you don't, and you minimize or go to another app, it's going to continue to play.
Okay, here's my question: where do they find room for more buttons on Facebook? They got more stuff going on. I was over there the other day. I was like, I don't even know where I am anymore.
Wait until they put the option into where you can put your podcast on Facebook. I'm thinking, where are they going to put that? It's like you said, they're running out of places to put things. So, and they keep adding on stuff.
Yeah, and you touch the screen and boom, you're somewhere else. It's like, wow, what happened?
All right, Facebook, we don't understand, but we're going to move on. Let's talk about Instagram, which is a part of Facebook world. So Instagram is adding options for you to switch off your audio or video during the IG live broadcast. So there's going to actually be buttons, just like here, and I can stream y'all when we want to mute ourselves. There's a microphone and the camera. IG live is going to have that. Now, why? Ask yourself why. Clubhouse.
Because it's trying to turn it into a podcast. What?
It's trying to turn it into podcast or Clubhouse, where Clubhouse is audio only. So if somebody's on your IG live, remember 4 people. So if one of them or 2 of them or all of them don't want to be on camera, they can mute their camera. Or if one person is talking and you hear background noise from the other people, they can turn their mic off, but still have the screen on. Think Blab. Remember Blab with the 4 squares, and then you could thing. That's what it is.
Oh, so they're kind of bringing Blab back.
That's what it is.
It's going to be.
Remember, you can do 4 people on the IG live, and then the screenshot. I don't have the screenshot to put up, but that was the image. Was the 4 squares, and then at the bottom of each square was a mic icon, the camera icon, and something else, so people can mute themselves or take themselves off camera and bring themselves back on IG live.
Okay, so I have a question. Is that on the desktop available?
You can't do IG live on the desktop. This is mobile.
You cannot do it on the desktop.
You can only view stories in the feed on desktop. There's no IG
so
live.
IG live. Oh, okay. So it's on
live when you use the phone. Yes,
it's only on the phone. Okay. Because I was trying to think, okay, so if I go live on Instagram,
not on the desktop.
You can't do it on the desktop, but you can
only view and comment.
Okay, that's just so you got a phone and you're talking to 4 people, and it's okay.
Yeah, that's why I said think Blab. Remember 4 squares, and each square had the mic. You can mute somebody or take them off a camera and stuff like that. So they're putting those controls in. And this is all because of Clubhouse.
Let's just call it Clone House. So we're gonna have Clone House over there on Facebook. Okay. The Clone.
Show. Okay, so Instagram is also launching the first edition of their magazine called Instagram Insider. It's the digital magazine highlighting the platform trends. Now, I do have the screenshot for
That's
that. Let me bring it
interesting.
up. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Now, can you see that Instagram Insider?
Uh-huh.
And
That's
this is their
pretty.
issue. And where you want to find this is about.instagram.com/blog. It's their blog. It's a blog post if you want to see it. And it's a PDF here. You
Okay.
can download it. But here they did some screen capture. So this is what it looks like. Their magazine. This is their digital magazine.
That's what they were talking about. I saw Insider. Okay.
Okay, so are they taking different Instagram accounts and putting them in the Insider, or
Is this all about
This is
celebrity?
what it's for. It's for highlighting key content trends based on Instagram activity as well as influential creators. So it is creators that they decide to follow. I don't know what the agreement is, but it will be from popular Instagram influencers. So you'll get that information. Now here's their quote. They said, hold on, let me bring this back. So let me read this quote. It says, if you've ever spent an indulgent weekend afternoon scrolling through your feed, explore, or shop tab, liking and saving posts, then this magazine is for you. Instagram Insider is about inspiration and discovery, not just of the trends, but the people behind them. And it says it's a 9-page magazine. You can download it in a PDF form from the website. So it's key trends and influencer spotlight. So this is I guess it's to say this is what's happening and popular on Instagram.
okay.
But you can go over see it for yourself. It's about.instagram.com/blog. It's their blog.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I see it. Uh-huh.
See
Okay.
it? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the big news from Instagram this week. A whole bunch of stuff they released. Instagram is releasing all of these tools to help you monetize your content.
Hold everything. What is over here on the magazine? I hope this is not a rabbit hole. It says something about doubling down on Instagram Live with live rooms. What is now? We got an Instagram room. Or is that the same room as Messenger?
That's IG Live. Why they're calling it live rooms?
Rooms. I'm like, okay, I can't take another room.
Listen to Facebook.
Okay.
So Zuckerberg announces on Tuesday, he said that they're working on new tools to help creators monetize content. They'll be able to generate income through partnership with brands, selling merchandise, recommending affiliate products. Now, wait a minute. Now we're saying, hey, Instagram could always do this, but that was certain select Instagram influencers. Now this is like available to everybody.
Okay.
So before it was influencers and if you had a business account, you could do all of these things. But now they're opening it up to everybody. They want everybody to get a share of the sales of the products they recommend in their posts. All right. So one of the ways is connecting brands with creators. It's a marketplace for brands where they can discover and sponsor engaging creators. They're also having something called Instagram creator shops, allow users with regular accounts to sell merchandise on their profile. Regular accounts, not a business account. They're expanding this Instagram shopping feature.
Oh, so it's going to be like Marketplace on Facebook.
Right. So here's their quote. We see a lot of creators setting up shops, and one part of being a content creator business model is you create great content and then you can sell stuff. And so having creator shops is awesome. This is Zuckerberg's quote. Okay. So also the affiliate recommendation marketplace. They want to help creators get paid for promoting content in the app. Okay, so remember, this could be done by certain influencers before in business, but now they're opening to everybody. That's what the big deal is. Now, let's get down to why they're doing this. Has to go back to the Apple update, where Apple is allowing people to block apps like Facebook, tracking them completely. So Facebook is saying, okay, we're going to put all of this stuff on our app. And that way we'll be able to get data and stuff and collect and use it and send it to people who create ads on Facebook. So Facebook is trying to create their own little pond of data collection. Instead of saying, okay, well, we have this pixel that you can put on when people go to your site. No, we're doing everything in Facebook world. And then that's numbers we can use when people running ads want to see numbers or track how well their ads are doing. That's what they're tying this in with.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's working on a
My mind can't keep up. Okay.
So it's all about Instagram getting control over their ecosystem, their world. That's why, remember, I call it Facebook world. So they're trying to swirl everything into one, Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, WhatsApp. And now they're seeing that, well, we can't do third-party tracking and all that. So let's bring everybody over to our world, our pond, and then we can track all of that numbers. All have that number and that data.
Wow. Okay, I feel like I'm on Fantasy Island with no transportation. Go ahead.
So Facebook world.
Okay.
Any comments about that?
The plane. No, okay, go ahead. I need transportation. Go ahead.
No, look, Instagram is they're giving you a magazine. They want you to come over and stay over there and be an influencer and do affiliate marketing and promote stuff all in their little world. And this is, I guess, this is their answer. This is the track that they're going on.
It's just so much at one time.
Dr. Tachi has a question.
Did you say? Did I hear you say that there would be featured users or featured creators in the magazine?
Yeah, that's what they're saying, that they're going to it's going to be highlight key content trends based on Instagram activity as well as influential creators on the Instagram platform.
And not that I'm expecting it to be a magazine or a platform that democratizes things, but it seems to me that it's going to be the same old, the same Instagram
Probably
always get the shine. Will continue to get the shine.
Yeah, because this first Instagram Insider is focused on beauty and fashion. This is the beauty and fashion edition, and I guess the next one will be some other industry edition.
Yeah, no, and I think that's okay. But again, just like with live streaming, there's so many people who are doing fantastic things, social media wise, live streaming wise, etc., that are, in some cases go beyond the people that get highlighted. So I'm wondering what their system is going to be or if they even have plans and intentions to spotlight people that are not the usual, if that makes sense.
That's a good question. I don't know what you.
I don't know what their definition is of community. I don't know what their definition is of influential, but based on history,
I can tell you what their definition of influential is. It's influencers. Those people that have a high number of followers, those people that have engagement, those people that are getting these deals because they want some of that deal money. So those are the people they're considering influential.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's it. That's your week in social media news.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Dr. Tachi, did you want to do your report from there? Dr. Tachi, did you want to do media from there?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I can.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So this week in media.
Okay, well, good morning. No, it's now afternoon on the East Coast, but morning for you all on the West Coast, wherever you are in the world. Let's talk a little bit about what's happening in media. Netflix has a new feature that will allow you to automatically play something to watch based on your interests. So it's they don't have a real name for it yet, but they've called it a play something feature. And it allows users to shuffle through a random pick of movies and TV shows. So if you're a subscriber, you click on a new button, you're met with a film or a show that was picked based on the algorithm. Okay. And if it doesn't look interesting, you could click play something else and get a new show or film, an unfinished show or movie, or a series or film that's on your watch list. So they announced this actually on Wednesday. And what they're saying is it's going to help Netflix mimic a more traditional cable experience where users turn on the TV and something is already playing. The feature could also help get viewers hooked on the company's exclusive content. This is what they're hoping, which would help it retain subscribers. Everybody's trying to avoid the churn. So where will it be? Underneath the user's profile name on the login screen, in the navigation menu on the left, and then on the Netflix homepage. So they're rolling out the feature for TVs first, and then they'll start testing for mobile devices soon. So that's what's happening in Netflix world.
Okay.
Yes.
That's nice. I because I don't use Netflix a lot, and that'll help me.
Yeah, but the thing that I'm kind of like is I think that people who watch streaming expect streaming, and they're not. I don't know that they're really necessarily checking for something to already be playing when they come on like it's regular TV.
Oh, no, that's going to be kind of interesting. Yeah, I see.
Yeah, because I prefer to go in either where I left off on my own, or I don't want something popping up.
Well, the problem is is what pops up. Is it age appropriate? What scene in the movie are we on? Yeah, I could see where that would be interesting because we're not used to it.
Yeah.
The first time it happens, it's like, ooh.
Right. They didn't go into detail. This is according to NBC, CNBC. So they didn't go into detail about what that's going to look like, and they're just testing it now. But that is a legitimate concern.
Yeah.
Right. So they're pretty much.
Go ahead.
Yeah, they're picking stuff for you
based on what you.
It's kind of in a way of what they're already doing, right? Because they already give the top things at the top. They have recommendations. I think they're just doing it in a more succinct way and a way that you will see rather than having to go look for it.
Yes.
Okay.
In the
let's talk Issa Rae, shall we?
Shall we?
All right. So Issa Rae, she has a whole conglomerate of things underneath her production company now, and she's got Radio, which is her audio company, spelled like her last name. Well, they have signed The Read, and if you don't know The Read, they are a wildly popular podcast with the hosts Kid Fury and Crystal, hosts and creators. They're two Black millennials that talk about everything from politics to social action to pop culture. And they're super funny and they're just really popular. So, of course, we know them. They have had this podcast for the past 8 years. They've also done road shows. So they traveled to different cities when outside was open. And then they had the show on Revolt. Now, I know when the pandemic came, it kind of changed things. So I don't know if they're still doing that show on Revolt. But they have confirmed, this is according to Shadow and Act, that they have signed The Read to a history-making record deal, including an original comedy album. So they said, Issa Rae said in a statement, "I've been a fan of Crystal and Kid Fury for almost a decade now, and The Read has been my weekly comfort food. I can't wait for everyone to experience their brilliant comedic commentary in such a specially curated, timeless format." So what it is, it's going to be like their commentary from past shows and, top things that they've said alongside music. So it's like a comedy album. So there'll be music involved as well, and it's all curated. So the album is actually going to be preceded by an official debut single, full-length track list, artwork, and accompanying visuals. So that's kind of exciting for them. And what I love about this is that Issa Rae is looking at talent that she's known and enjoyed. And because she's been successful, remember, she has an 8-figure deal now with HBO. Because she's been successful in this light, she's bringing other people along for the ride. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, that is great.
Very good.
Absolutely. All right, let's do this. For those of you, I'm trying to bring this up again.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you that is anybody a fan of Book 2, Power Book 2 Ghost?
I'm not familiar.
No.
You have to tell us
But
more
that
about
doesn't
this.
mean because I just never watched it or heard of it. So I can't.
Okay. Well, remember Power.
Oh, the TV show.
The show.
Yes.
Right. The show, the drama that is on, was on Stars. The only reason, if you ask me, anybody had Stars because of this. Because what the hell else is on Stars? Well, anyway, they then have a spin-off off of this. You know, they couldn't let, because Power was so popular, I knew they weren't going to let it go. So now they have a spin-off called Power Book 2 Ghost. So Ghost is like one of the main characters, or was one of the main characters in Power. Well, Redman is reuniting with Method Man on the show. Now, let me explain. Maybe I know Terry, you probably know who Redman and Method Man are.
Terry, I do because my kids are into hip hop. So yeah, I know who they are.
Okay. So I'm making a big assumption that everybody, Terry, because she's from New York, I'm like, I know you know who they are. But I'm making the assumption everybody knows who they are. Now, this is opportune because Versus just did a matchup between Redman and Method Man. The last Versus that was done on Triller and IG Live was Redman and Method Man.
Oh, okay.
And let me tell you, it was awesome. I'm an old school hip hop head. So I was happy to see these two members of Wu-Tang come back together and do that. So it's really interesting, the timing of all of these things. You had that Versus, and now you have them reunited again on television in this Power spinoff. So I thought that was very interesting.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk a little more entertainment. We're going back to Netflix. Now, if you know Lakeith Stanfield, you should know him because he was, first of all, he was in Judas and the Black Messiah, which got a lot of acclaim at this past Oscars. He is one of the stars of the FX show Atlanta. Actually, I think it is now moved from FX to another network, but the show Atlanta, he is one of the stars, and I think this upcoming season is going to be the last season of Atlanta. He is also, what is the name of that horror movie with Jordan Peele that Jordan Peele made? Not Us, it's the one that The Sunken Place, his first one.
Oh, Get Out.
Get Out. So he was one of the unfortunate individuals in Get Out. So he's really doing his thing in Hollywood. And now he is actually going to voice the character Yasuke, who is a black anime character on Netflix. Now, it's a legendary story of the first black samurai in feudal Japan. And it's going to follow this character, Yasuke, voiced by Lakeith Stanfield, as he navigates life following his violent past until he is tasked with bringing a mysterious child who's wanted by dark forces back to safety. So this is interesting because the story of Yasuke has been around for a while. This is the first time that it has actually been immortalized as anime. So according to Afrotech, this is inspired by real-life samurai Yasuke, who many believe to have traveled from Africa to Japan in 1579. Wow. So I think this is really interesting, and if you're an anime fan, you should be looking out for this. I'm not quite sure when it is. Oh, actually, yes, I am. It's set to hit Netflix. Actually, it hit Netflix yesterday, so you'll be able to watch it now. So you can watch it now if you wish.
Wow.
My grandson is really into martial arts. I'm going to check this out because the other one is into anime. So I'm like, this might merge in their life. I need to check this out. Wow. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Sorry, go ahead.
No,
thank you.
Continue.
Okay, let's go on. Off of anime, on to our dear friends AMC. You know they're in the news a lot. And you know I always have to report because I'm just clueless as to why the movie exhibition industry is not pivoting the way they should. So AMC Entertainment anticipates a Q1 sales of $148 million.
Mm-hmm.
We say, okay, that's not too bad, but this is versus $941 million last year.
What I'm trying to figure out is why their stock went up so much so quickly, and people haven't really returned to the theater. I'm like, what? Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I had there's someone that raised their hand. Stand by, Sanaz, and we'll see if we can get your question. Go ahead, Dr.
Well,
Tucker.
hold on before you bring him.
I'm just I know. I'm just I got you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So AMC is expecting to announce a net loss of between 572 million and 567 million. That's a lot. The earnings season for them is now, but they haven't set a date yet for their quarterly financials. Hey.
Okay, so their theaters are back open?
Yeah, theaters are back open, not to full capacity, but they are back open. But the thing is, at this point, they don't determine who goes back to the theater. It's going to be the public to determine when they feel comfortable enough to go back to theaters. And then, it's not even on them. Remember, a lot of productions were shut down in Hollywood because of COVID-19. And so really now you're looking at, all right, well, what is there to release? So,
correct.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Well, here's my other question. Are they allowed to sell food in there?
Okay, hold on a minute. Hang on, Terry. So I was just reading where Godzilla versus King Kong was like doing this major in the movie theaters. I was like, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, but yes, absolutely. But that's what we have to ask ourselves, would that have been such a big hit if we were not in the state we were?
No. No.
Which is desperate.
When that's all you had, that's like back in the day, all you had to watch was channels 2, 4, and 6. And if you didn't want to watch it, then turn it off. But you were forced to watch what was on. So of course ratings were going to be sky high because you didn't have a whole lot of choice. But then when cable came along, and there were other choices, you started to slowly see it eat away at the share that broadcast television had in terms of ratings, right?
Right.
So it's the same with this. If there were other alternatives, you have to ask yourself, would it have been as popular? And it still, of course, it's not doing numbers pre-pandemic numbers, but it's doing really well for in the pandemic.
Right.
Would it, if there was anything up against it? Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah. And then Terry had the question for you: are they allowing food in the movies now?
No. As far as I know, no food, because you still have to stay masked up. So no food, as far as I know.
Oh, can you bring your own?
Oh,
you have to take off your mask if you bring your own.
Okay, so they don't want. Okay, so they don't want you taking masks off. Period. While you're in the theater. Okay.
They do not. They unless they've changed something in the past few weeks, they do not. And that's another thing with the erosion of the movie going experience. Most people don't sit down at a theater and eat nothing. Some do, but most people want a little bit of snack or something, and they're like, okay, well, we're going to not eat because we're going to be at the theater. Or conversely, some people go to the theater and they don't really eat much because they know they're going to go to eat afterwards. So, but most people, most of the money at theaters is made off of concessions.
Right. Exactly. That's why I was asking. And I'm looking over here on the AMC site, and it's talking about dine in, sit back sooner with mobile ordering, get your food and drink faster. Try it now on the AMC Theaters app. So I guess so that they don't have people waiting in line behind each other and breathing each other's air. They probably have
So
some
here, I think they might be trying to do there's a theater here, and I can't remember what the name of the theater is, a studio movie grill, where they bring you dinner,
bring it to your
seat. And that one is still open here. Okay, but it's in Placer County, so that's a whole different county than Sac County. So Placer County does a little bit different, but it's open and you can go there and watch a movie. And that's where people have been going here in town, and you can still eat. They bring you food. I mean, and the food is so much better than just the popcorn and stuff.
The normal fare.
Yeah, it's like, I'm talking coconut crusted chicken and some other stuff, salads and stuff. They actually bring you food. And then they got a whole, wine and beer and the whole 9 yards. It's like dinner and a movie for real.
Yeah, they do. The AMC theaters here do that. It's AMC Dining.
Okay.
And so the AMC theaters here do that as well, where they will bring you, the food to your seats. When I did it for the pandemic, they were terrible. The food was good, but the service was terrible because I'm like, fine dining experience when you have just regular high school kids working.
And they're bringing you the stuff. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, can you bring napkins and utensils? If I have to get up and get it, it defeats the purpose. So, that's one thing. But there are several that were trying to enhance this experience. And I think that was a move toward trying to do things differently with theater. You need more than feeding people at the theater. What is your business plan beyond this? And I simply don't see what it is yet.
Yeah, what makes it special? Yeah,
this is the difficult. Okay, this is a thing. What happens when you need to pivot in your business? Because everybody's industry had to pivot.
Yeah, I do see AMC Dine In on this site, Tachi. So yeah.
Okay. So they're open. You're saying?
I guess those who have that service, they're letting you know you can order on their app for the dine-in stuff, and the menu is up.
Well, we'll see.
Good for whoever wants to use it. I have just a couple of more stories because I know we're at time. So, for those of you who love big cats and you love Siegfried and Roy, your Apple has landed the Siegfried and Roy podcast as they are stepping up into original audio content. So, they're about to launch a podcast with Siegfried and Roy, and this is one of their first major forays into doing original audio series. And so the series is also at Apple TV Plus in its television and film division, and then it's also going to launch on the podcast platform. So this is interesting. I'm like, wow. I guess we have run out of content that we now have Siegfried and Roy doing a podcast.
So,
I was trying to understand. Okay,
what are they going to talk about? After we hear the tiger roar, then what? Well, I'm just saying. I mean,
I think this whole thing has a lot to do with the success of Tiger King on Netflix too. So even though it's two separate things altogether, just that interest in being able to quote, and you're never really able to tame them, but being able to have some level of control over big cats, I think people were really interested in that. And then, obviously with the Tiger King, it was also that murder story. It's a true crime. But I think there's this, what happened? Was it Siegfried or Roy that got chewed up by one of the tigers? And so now they're like, well, what's happened since then?
Okay, because, when I think of a podcast, I think of interview style. Like the interview with so-and-so and, like kind of like what we do here. And so how did you do today? And yes, okay. And it's an interview. But then I have to remember that podcasts are also telling stories. Like they did one with, what is the lady? Oh, Octavia Spencer. She was on Apple TV did a story where she was a podcaster and she was podcasting the life of somebody that was accused of being murdered or whatever. And it was on over a series. She was, okay, so this week we talked to da 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 da. And this is what happened during that whole thing. She was she was doing a chronological step by step in the murder of somebody, but it was a podcast where people tuned in every week to find out what was going to happen next.
Like she was an investigative reporter.
It was a serial
mystery series. Okay.
Yeah, mystery series, and so some podcasts are like that. Maybe that's what they're doing with Siegfried and Roy.
Okay.
Well, I think what they're this is what they say, that it's going to present an in-depth look at the most famous controversial magicians in history who were widely misunderstood, frequently satirized, and feverishly criticized. They're going to deconstruct the illusions they created, the empire they constructed, and what really happened on the night that a tiger attack ended their reign. So, for you that didn't know, they passed away. So Siegfried passed away in January, and Roy passed away last year, COVID-19.
Wow! So I can see them doing a serial podcast about how they started and doing their whole story,
revealing how their illusions were done. Okay,
right. Kind of like Dateline, where you start and then you just go through this whole thing, but Dateline gives it to you in an hour. Now we're going to be hearing it for over several weeks.
Okay.
Exactly. So one more story, and then I'm done. Somebody who said the plane.
Terry.
The plane.
You're going to be. This is interesting.
Okay.
So, Rosalind Sanchez, who is an actress you probably know from Rush Hour and Devious Maids, and I believe she was like Miss Puerto Rico at one time.
Oh, okay.
She is set to star in a reboot of Fantasy Island at Fox.
I like Devious Maids. They should bring that back, but go ahead.
So, well, you never know. They could bring that back. So she's going to star as Elena. She's actually going to star as Elena Rourke, who is supposed to be a descendant of Mr. Rourke, played by Ricardo Montalban.
Wow.
In the original series. Yes. And the character is described as sophisticated, insightful, and always charming, with a calm exterior that masks the challenges of the responsibilities she has assumed as steward of the mysterious island.
That might be a good watch.
Hey, it might be. It sounds entertaining.
It sounds entertaining, but I'm always scared of reboots because they always bungle them. I have yet to see a reboot that is really superiorly done. I have yet to see that.
Well, we'll give her, we might give her a couple of weeks and then
let's give her a look-see. Mm-hmm. When is this supposed to happen, Tachi?
This actually, they don't have a date for the reboot yet. Okay. Oh, wait a minute, wait. Is it? Yes, they just said they don't have a date, but they said this summer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a co-production between Sony Pictures Television and Sony's Gemstone Studios and Fox Entertainment.
Oh, no, there's a combo. Thank you. This was good. We might have something to watch in the summertime. Fantasy Island was pretty good back in the day.
Yep, and I'm looking forward to that anime. I'm going to go check that out. Go look
back in the day.
Yes.
Oh,
wow.
Well, go ahead, everybody. This was great. Thank you so much. We learned a lot about tech and some things and so much more about Facebook and Instagram.
Oh, my gosh.
And your privacy. You will have the ultimate thing here is, do you have control over your privacy? And we've always had the control over our privacy if we chose to initiate or do what, users have the control. We can turn some stuff off. We can say no. We can say yes. We don't have to use it, but we do have control.
Yep. It's all about, what you want and what price you're willing to pay for it. So with that, we want to remind you guys to go to the front of your own line. We'll be here Monday. It's first Monday, Fran.
Yes, it is. So we'll be doing some things on First Monday, and we'll talk to you more about that Monday morning doing our coffee thoughts.
Okay. So with that, remember to go to the front of your own line. Dr. Tachi, thank you for all that you do. We want to give a shout out to TJ. She had to run, but we just want you to know that we love you and we thank you for all that you do here on Biz Chicks. Fran, it's going to be a terrific day. It's beautiful outside here in California, and we're looking forward to seeing you all on Monday. So,
and thank you. Hey, Dr. Looks like Dr. Vibe joined in too. Hey, Dr. Vibe, how you doing? And we're just checking out, but we'll be seeing you all on Monday.
I was in there this morning, Dr. Vibe, when you were on Clubhouse, so I was listening in. I was ear hustling. Okay. So I want you to know, that we hear you. All right, guys. With that, we'll see you Monday. Bye-bye.